Hello, I'm Commissioner of Agriculture Steve Troxler. Today I want to talk about our Food and Drug Division that is a big part of what we do in the department as far as food safety is concerned. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture is charged with the food safety of the products that we produce in North Carolina, produce safety. So it's an overall arching program that encompasses the food of North Carolina. It's the safeness of this food and making sure that the food supply that we are feeding to everybody is the best that it can be. The Food and Drug Division is located primarily in Raleigh with inspectors all over the state of North Carolina, and we inspect manufactured foods, produce, milk, about anything that you can imagine that is in the food supply, even down to soft drinks, ice cream. If you eat it, for the most part, we've been there, we've inspected it to make sure that it is safe. There have been sweeping changes in food safety over the past few years, with the Food Safety Modernization Act being enacted into law in the year 2011. And I'm going to show you some of the things today that we have developed in partnership with FDA to help further the FSMA implementation. As president of the National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, I was involved in the implementation process of FSMA and positioned North Carolina to be in the forefront of food safety nationally. There are many things that we do with the implementation, but the cornerstone of what we have for the states is educate before you regulate. What this means is we do believe that companies and individuals that produce food want to be in compliance and will be in compliance if they understand why and understand what the law is. So that's the cornerstone of what we do. Our grade A milk section inspects the dairies across North Carolina and processors of milk in North Carolina to make sure that the dairy products that all of our people consume are safe and the best and freshest that they can be. And this includes over 1,000 inspections a year and sampling and lab work to make sure that microbial counts are within range, that everything is like it needs to be. We even get down to the point that we inspect animal feeds for the nutritional value of the feed, the safety of the feed, and this does include even getting down to pet foods in North Carolina. We have instituted recalls of pet foods because we found out that it was not only not safe for the pet to eat, but think about the people within a home that are handling the pet food that could cause human problems. So all of this is incorporated into the Food and Drug Division, and we serve you every day, all day long. A big piece of food safety is our Constable Lab in Raleigh, North Carolina. One of the proudest accomplishments I think that we have done in the past several years is this lab is ISO 17025 certified, which means it's nationally recognized, and when you export as much food as we do from North Carolina, that is a real benefit. It also has the most certifications and the broadest certifications of any state lab in the nation. That is something to be proud of. I am so proud of all of the employees of the Food and Drug Division that worked so hard to get us to that point. This lab tests about 15,000 samples a year, and those samples range from food safety, manufactured products, milk, animal feed, even in pesticide investigations. This is a lab that does the lab work in an investigation, so it's a very broad-based lab, one that is working hard every day for the citizens of North Carolina, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Another part of what we do is we regulate the wholesale storage and distribution of drugs. And it is called the Food and Drug Division because we are involved in the pharmaceutical industry in North Carolina also. So all of this put together is very, very complicated. It takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of scientists to be able to operate it. And I mentioned the Food Safety Modernization Act, and I want to ask Anita McMullen to step in now, and I'm going to let her explain what the Food Safety Modernization Act is and how we in North Carolina are working on implementation.
Thank you, Commissioner. So the Food Safety Modernization Act represents one of the sweeping reforms of our food safety laws over the past 70 years. Passed, as you mentioned, in 2011, it has a lot of rules associated with it that we implement in the Food and Drug Protection Division. One of the most significant ones is the FDA Produce Safety Rule, which establishes for the first time standards for microbial safety of produce, fresh fruits and vegetables that we eat.
If you can imagine produce farmers and produce packers going from basically a non-regulated entity to one that is now heavily regulated and inspected, you can't get there overnight. And we have to work as hard as we can work on the educational aspects of the Food Safety Modernization Act. One of the things that I insisted on with the implementation of FSMA was a program called On-Farm Readiness Review. And what this program does is it's voluntary. People ask us to come out and do assessments of their farms, their produce packing lines, to see what they would have to do to be in full compliance with FSMA. I've always believed that this is the way to regulate with education and not a hammer. I'm proud to say that this has been adopted by FDA and the states, and it's even used internationally now, so North Carolina had a lot to do with this program being implemented. I've been talking about the Food and Drug Division and especially our labs in Raleigh, and this probably doesn't look like a lab, and in fact it's not. We're at the Piedmont Research Station today to show you part of Educate Before You Regulate, and this is actually a place where we can educate, train not only producers and packers, but also our inspectors. This is done in conjunction with FDA. Behind me is a full packing line, commercial packing line that is set up to demonstrate food safety and the Food Safety Modernization Act to people that are involved in it. So I'd like to move now and kind of give you a demonstration of what we might do with this facility. What we have here is packing machinery that could be used to pack many varieties of vegetables. And we bring producers in, we bring packers in, even our inspectors in to train them on what they should be looking for when they inspect a facility, or what a farmer or packer should do to be in compliance with FSMA. Of course, that would be a lot of different aspects in the inspection process. A lot of it would be microbial. We do microbial sampling in packing facilities to ascertain that they're clean and that there's nothing being transferred from boxes of produce that are packed between the boxes or even in storage. Is there microbial growth in cooling facilities? All of this comes into a comprehensive produce safety program that we are teaching in North Carolina. I thank FDA for their involvement in helping fund this facility, and hope that other states will follow our lead and put in facilities like this.